So after Zoro and Sanji dropped this crazy combo attack, they split up to handle their own battles. Zoro versus King and Sanji versus Queen. King kicks off his fight by going wild, spamming sword swings at Zoro. And now you know Zoro hasn't fought a top tier swordsman since Mihawk, so you know he's geeked up. He comments on Enma's power before firing off a 3-sword style attack at King, but King just brushes it off. Zoro goes in for another strike, slicing off King's mask, and man, King is pissed. Turns out, King's a Lunarian, part of an ancient race, and he's the last of his clan, so revealing his identity can make him a target for the world government. Zoro, who by the way is loving attention, starts taunting King and making him go further. King loses it and goes into his hybrid form, which makes Zoro realize that he might have poked the wrong bear. King unleashes wing slashes that cut deeper than Zoro's swords, forcing Zoro to dodge and block like his life depends on it. One more powerful slash sends Zoro crashing into Frankie, who's more confused than Zoro at this point. Frankie questions why Zoro just got sent flying, and he told him he was fighting King, so he tells him to stay safe and he pieces out. Zoro and King then charge at each other, their attacks clashing and shaking up the whole entire hallway. Wah, little black boy's gonna cry. Zoro gets sent flying outside, and this kinda look like it's raps for him. Zoro uses a clear lance to break his fall, landing on the ground as King hovers overhead. They exchange some classic trash talk as Sanji tries to call Zoro during their midlife crisis. Zoro tries to answer, but King swoops in, forcing Zoro to focus back on the fight. King creates this massive flame tornado to overwhelm Zoro, but Zoro fights back, sending King back into the sky. King keeps dodging, trying to keep Zoro off balance, then he yanks Zoro backward before smashing the area around him. As Zoro starts processing the attack, King hits him with fire bullets, forcing Zoro to deflect and reposition himself. Zoro decides that he's done running and prepares a counterattack using Dragon Twister, and I thought, okay, finally some damage. This move hurt Kaido, so if King's weaker, it should do something, right? Wrong. This man King is still standing there unfazed, bro. Zoro is clapped. Then he pulls out his longsword and lunges towards Zoro. Zoro blocks, but he's pushed back, and King goes in for another sword spam combo. During this relentless onslaught, Zoro picks up on a key detail about King's abilities. When King's flames are off, he's less durable but moves faster. But with flames on, he's more durable but slower. Zoro pauses mid-class to process this information like he's got XQC levels of lag. King meanwhile launches him into a boulder, knocking the wind straight out of him. When I saw this right here, I thought Zoro was finished, like the Dwight Howard Cancun finish. But then he remembers his promise to Luffy and pushes himself back up. We cut to Hiyori, who's playing a familiar tune, and Enma starts drawing Zoro's energy, making it look like he busted the fattest nut ever. Zoro, refusing to be phased, regains control over Enma. One thing I'll forever respect Zoro about is how quickly he can adapt to Enma, like so quickly, it's wild. Zoro and King then have a classic western standoff until King comes in hot, ready to end it all. Zoro deflects and counters, but King is still one step ahead. Zoro ends up on the ground, and King, doing one of the most disrespectful things you could possibly do on anime, allows Zoro to get a free hit. So Zoro swings, strike doesn't even phase him. King is not phased at all. Being a Zoro fan during this time, you guys could just understand my pain watching this. Zoro take L after L after L, going 0 for 3 like the Prime Cavaliers in 2018. Like, I can't do this anymore, man. King begins to walk Zoro down, and Zoro finally decides to focus up, powering with the green ore and preparing a one-sword style. Zoro uses Death Lion Song and strikes a dramatic pose, but once again, nothing works against this man, bro. King yanks his head back, leaving Zoro in shock as Enma starts drawing Haki again, leaving him open for King to slash him across his side, sending Zoro flying. And this man King does not give Zoro a break. He smacks him right back down to Onigashima. I'm low-key gonna have to skip most of this due to copyright, but long story short, Zoro finally manages to master Enma and is ready to face King again. They begin to chat it up until King tries to incinerate Zoro, who blocks it and launches 2 slashes. King blocks, so Zoro switches up his approach, trying low strike that King blocks with his foot. Zoro grabs Enma and slices King's stomach, enraging him even more to make him get boomed back. King transforms into his animal form and starts to shoot flame bullets, forcing Zoro to keep dodging. But then Zoro remembers King's flame trick and begins to enact a plan. King torpedoes toward him while Zoro slides under him, blowing out King's flames. Zoro jumps onto the roof and uses Ultra Tiger Hunt to clash with King.
Your breath smell like garlic.
Says you, Capus.
Zoro manages to slice King's mask open, revealing King's face. King, unfazed, takes out some third-rate goons in the background and refocuses on Zoro. Then as soon as Zoro notices that King is black, he starts asking some crazy questions like what's his tribe, what's his bro. Oh my goodness, bro. King blasts out of the skull dome like he's shooting in a Mo-P music video as Zoro blocks every single hit. King comes down with one last strike as they both go flying back from the clash. Zoro starts losing control over Enma but shakes it off and readies himself for King's next move. They trade final attacks. King fires a flame dragon while Zoro does his light skin ab bat flick. King's dragons multiply but Zoro cuts through them all, reaching King. They clash one last time and Zoro with clear lance lands on the ground and stares at the screen victorious. Alright guys, that's it. This video took a while, so I'd appreciate all the love and support. Stay tuned for part 2, and as always, stay fresh. Love you guys.